the West Coast, where Hans is joining us from, and well, it turned to Friday an hour ago here in Mountain Time, Alberta, Canada. But whatever, we were already a day late, so what's making it two? That's okay. Hans, how are you?
It's always right now, Bernie. It's always right now.
Right? It's the present. That's why it is a present, because we're living in it, and here we are.
The past is mystery, the future is history, the present is a gift. So let's live it up now. Well, anyway, thank you for having me back on. It's been a minute.
Always a pleasure. It has.
Last time I was on here, yeah, it was 4th of July. Gotta apologize to myself. I was a little out of it that night, and
no worries, my friend.
Yeah,
as a good American, you should have been so. Right? Like, how can we argue with that?
Right. Anyway, yeah, lots happened. I went to Rob Potter's Mount Shasta summer event, which was amazing. I spoke, Friday morning at 9 a.m. I always get these 9 a.m. slots, but hey, whatever. I started with about 10, 15 people, and, the room was packed within a few minutes because everybody's there in the camp, and so people came to see it. So I lectured about the Dropa. It was awesome. I'm going to be speaking again in Vegas in October 17th through 20th. I don't know what the dates are. I'm speaking yet. I think you're frozen, Bernie.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, my friend Nathan, whose account we're using. I just sent him an email asking in the morning for him.
Oh, we lost Bernie. Shoots. Well, anyway, when he gets back on, I went down to Mount Shasta in July, and it was amazing. Never been down there. Had a little mishap on the way down somewhere outside of Roseburg, Oregon, which is in the middle of nowhere. Stone flew up through my grill and punctured my radiator. And so, I had to stop, turn around, limp up a hill. Had some crazy issues, got towed finally out of that. And then got another car and actually made it down to the event. And so it was really amazing. It was up at this near Castle Lake, which was really an amazing spot. Beautiful water, great to swim in. A couple of us went up there twice, had a good time. But yeah, we were basically there at this amazing event. 4 days, lots of vendors, great stuff. Where are you at, Bernie? Hold on a sec. I'll try and get a hold of our host. Back in a moment, folks. Anyhow, not quite sure what happened to Bernie. Hopefully he gets back on. Anyway, so tonight we were going to talk about something that my father brought up a couple of years ago. It was around 2016, 2017. He started diving into things that I never thought my father would dive into. My father is a cultural anthropologist. He did a lot of his work in Nepal. And for me growing up around that, it was very fascinating because I got to see some of the stuff that he was interested in. And he would always joke based on his different job types So one of his jobs was being a social forester. And so a friend of mine joked with him one day and said, "What is a social forester, Don?" And my dad looks at him all sternly and he goes, "A social forester is somebody that talks to trees." And so one day he joked about microchloral anthropology. And so what is that? Well, it's the study of little green men, aliens. And so it's interesting that he started getting into these topics, now in his later years. My father's in his 80s. And so in 2017, he sent me this very interesting article about this radio wave that was found in space that repeats every 20 minutes. I believe it comes from a similar region as to the WOW event in the 1970s that SETI picked up and kind of became the spark of the book Contact that Carl Sagan had written, and then it turned into pretty much a movie. So in 2017, my dad is sending me this article on these radio waves, and I'm sitting there going, I wonder what exactly that is, because also at this time or shortly thereafter, we received these radio waves from I'm not exactly sure where they were coming from, but are we back?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
I'm like halfway into.
And we got Ben. Ben, welcome, Ben.
So continuing on, my father sent me this article in 2017, which I actually share with BurnEye, about these radio waves that were coming from a certain sector in space. And so it's interesting because I started pulling up articles around this, thinking of the WOW event and then Contact. And I'm like, well, why are they coming up with this now? Because this is now the second or third time that they've discovered this burst of radio waves. I think it repeats every 20 or 22 minutes coming from a specific sector of space. And so my thought is there's other information around here. And then NASA comes out with this interesting article about synthetic DNA and how it will help us discover alien life. And this kind of blew me away. And so I shared it with my father, and he turned around and he sent me a bunch of other stuff that he had been researching into. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, synthetic DNA. Well, in Contact, we were sent radio signals, right? And we were sent basically a 3D configuration of a device that could send our mind, body, and spirit, a Merkaba device in a sense, to Vega. Well, interestingly, Oumuamua seems to also come from the trajectory of Vega. I thought more, serious, but that is also in that direction during time and space. And so
that's pretty epic. And talk about a 5D quantum experience.
Well, right, yeah. And so Jodie Foster's character doesn't actually go to Vega. She does in her mind, but in our real time, she just falls through the device. And so I was thinking, well, if we're getting radio signals and NASA's coming out with this synthetic DNA to, find alien life.
Okay, I missed that part. So NASA's doing synthetic DNA, quote unquote, to somehow find alien life.
Yeah, look at the articles I sent you in the.
Do you mind putting them in the private chat so I can pull them up?
God, could I? Oh yeah, hold on, let me.
Or just load them yourself and we can share.
I'm having some issues with that, so I will just send them to you here. Hold on again. So this is the.
Nathan, feel free to join in if you want.
This is one of them, but it's not. It's like clues about deep space. That's not really the one I want. Is it this one? Why am I not finding? Oh, here it is. Bingo. There it is. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Bam.
There we go. Open that up. Uh-oh. Never a straight answer. We're going to never a straight answer for an
Actually,
answer.
this has been, yeah, exactly, and this is where, this is kind of what I was looking
total real image.
at.
Definitely
Of course,
filmed by
no,
NASA.
no, no.
Just kidding. Sorry. Anyways,
But it's that, and you gotta scratch your head over this.
research creates DNA-like molecule to aid search for alien life.
So
Research
think about what happened in Contact. Okay, we receive this 3D device to take us to Vega, but we're also receiving a radio signal now. And I'm in my background mind with my dad going back and forth with these crazy conversations. I was like, well, what if we were sent, this synthetic DNA to create a being or a life here instead of going there? And so instead of something like projected panspermia, you could send your own prototype here as a genetic cousin of sorts, an avatar for, a consciousness. And so this was the random conversation my father and I were having back and forth. And that's where I was starting this. And I was really blown away with this, because also in this year, and here's the other one that really kind of blew my mind. This one showed up on a lot of places, but of course on CBS. So see bullshit, right?
See the BS, right?
Yeah. This ended up in Forbes and a whole bunch of other things. So check this one out.
Okay.
Yeah, check the other link out I just sent you.
CBS News.
BS. I see it all day long. Yes.
That's why there's a
just read the headline and you got to scratch your head. And so this showed up on
there
CNN,
may be more.
And
36,
which is such a magical number.
33 plus 3, Illuminati aliens
369, right? Exactly. So the question is, how do we know this? Are we eavesdropping on their conversations, or are we part of these conversations?
Right, exactly. More likely are we having these conversations?
Are we part of these 36 communicating intelligent alien civilizations? Come on.
So we hack their system. Are we spying?
This all came out within a month of each other, these 3 articles. Okay, so this DNA,
pretty fascinating.
These radio telemetry waves bursting every 20 or 22 minutes in a pulse. It's a specific pulse. And so
I do remember
obviously there's energy transfer, and they're going, oh, it's a dead star and it's giving off radio.
It's dead. It's just producing energy pulsing every 2 like what?
Right. And so these 3 articles, are kind of back to back. And so then what else happened in 2017? Well, this is kind of when To the Stars Academy, TTSA, got to give, Farrell and Dark Journalists a little credit for this one, because they were going through it at that time. And so here we have, this bass player of Blink 182 or whatever, singer, bass player. And he's surrounded by, all these 3-letter intelligent agency people. And one of them is this character, Lou Elizondo. And so he starts coming out and he's talking disclosure, but they're trying to control a narrative.
For those who don't know Lou Elizondo's history, in his own book he just published, he talks about how he was a torture agent, intelligence agent for the CIA at Guantanamo Bay, for one, and that he was also an agent of like misinformation department of like informational warfare, and then all of a sudden comes out and claims that he ran some alien investigative group committee
ATIP
for the
or whatever.
Pentagon, that doesn't even exist, and it's all just a psyop. Lou Elizondo, if you don't know, is a psyop.
He's a disinformation agent. Okay, so anyway, that comes out, and then shortly after that, they start doing all these funding hearings in Washington D.C., and they start funding Space Force and other anomalous organizations after these weird disclosures start coming out. And so part of that was actually these last years with Grosh's testimonies. But anyway, not quite my field. But in 2017, the whole TTSA and Lou Elizondo piece was coming out, as well as all of these articles. And so again, my dad and I were going back and forth on this, and I was pretty blown away that he was into some of these topics, because
most humans
it is interesting. When he taught at Washington State University, the guy next to him was Grover Krantz. And so Grover Krantz was the infamous Bigfoot expert. When he died, he wanted himself exhumed with his dead dog. He had one of these huge dogs. What's that? Sorry.
This article was 2017? Or no? This was recent 2017, the one on
2017
CBS
is also when Oumuamua came through. Yes.
Yeah, so okay, exactly, because in this article it says
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, all these events happened within this year. And so Oumuamua is coming from Vega, right? In contact, we receive messages from Vega. Yeah, so there's all these things that are overlapping, and my father's kind of connecting the dots with me, and I was very impressed by this. And yeah, some of this is in my Dropa book, because scientists the next year, it's in Scientific American. It's been in a bunch of articles
this year.
I'm not sure. I haven't actually.
Didn't Oumuamua re-enter?
I think it's on the other. It's on the other side of the. It's on the other side of the sun or something. It's still somewhere close to us. That's why they're thinking of launching a mission.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like it changed its trajectory after leaving our solar system and is about to come back and re-enter our solar system.
Wait, wasn't this the asteroid that they used in James Bond's Spectre? Classic. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just like, wait, wasn't that the...
So they've been in knowledge of this for a while, right? And it's such fake BS. See, Avi Loeb, he's actually trying to get a little bit of the truth of what this really is and what's going on out there. Right?
I saw him at
an asteroid doesn't just stop, change direction, and then re-enter.
No, it does. It slows down and course corrects.
How is he?
I saw him lecture there. I didn't chat with him.
And now since then it stopped. Yeah, because it's like after it left our solar system, it then stopped, and then was around some other bigger asteroids or something, and stopped next to them, and then changed direction and came back and is re-entering our solar system, apparently, from what I've read. But you can't really find too much on that. It seems to be covered up. So
that's why ChatGPT is better than Google. It does the best web crawl. Wow, this is interesting. This is so staged. It's fascinating. But hey, it's CBS this morning.
See the BS. Boom. There it is.
Well, so it's interesting because in 1973, Arthur C. Clarke wrote Rendezvous with Rama. And so it predicts 150 years from now, this cigar-shaped object, tube, kind of like what we would see in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, that big space probe that comes in, right? It's got the whale alien brain that comes out and is kind of shaking up Earth and destroying it. And Kirk and Spock and McCoy have to use the Klingon bird of prey to slingshot around the sun, go back in time, collect 2 humpback whales, come back to the future. Okay, anyway. So Rendezvous with Rama is kind of a tube like that, but it's like 50 kilometers in length and several kilometers wide, and it's also spinning end over end, which is creating this artificial gravity inside of it, which is what Oumuamua was doing in 2017. This year I was having this amazing conversation with my dad.
Right, like just so many anomalous, yet what you would see in technology and intelligently designed and controlled systems happening there.
Right.
Clearly not an asteroid.
So again, back to Rendezvous with Rama, it's interesting that these two objects have almost the same story. And so what was Arthur C. Clarke in the know of, right? I mean, he kind of predicted and foresaw over a lot of things. He was talking about Iapetus before any of us really had seen pictures of it coming back from even the Voyager times. Here's this yin yang, moon of Saturn that's just it's the moon with a view, right? It's such a fascinating topic. Saturn. We keep coming back to that one.
It is. It's the gatekeeper, that 6-dimensional whatever the heck it is.
So now that you're back, I've told my story. How are things with you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I've been working on the alchemy a bit more and trying to get more of Sir Isaac Newton's papers, memoirs, and treatises on alchemy and getting them translated and deciphering them. But sadly, I wanted to read some off tonight, but sadly on my computer, it just gives Latin. On my phone, it gives me the app to translate it to English. Thus, feeling kind of useless with that right now. Let's see. Can we get some English? I don't know. Hopefully so. But I've been unable. It's still about 50-60% of his writings that I haven't gone back through in English translations so far to try to find it, but I hope it's not expunged. I'm pretty sure I did get an English translation of the
this is one
treatise that it was in when I originally read it, and it was missing huge portions that were edited out.
This is this one that you're showing right now.
Yeah, and
it's got a bunch of lined out areas. It looks like a QRC, like to PDF conversion, was reading this and just couldn't pick up all the letters. Interesting.
Indeed. And so I've yet to welcome Ben. Good to have you, Ben. This is Hans. This is Ben. Right?
Namaste. Hello.
Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning where I am.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
Michigan.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oof. Yeah. It's going to be one of those nights. Gosh darn it.
It's going to be one of those days. But that's
I'm probably not going to stick around for too much longer. I'm just here for a little bit.
Fair enough.
Welcome to the fold.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Sorry, I'm just getting my, there we go. Get this in order.
No worries. Good to have you, Ben. What's been up you working on next?
I actually just put out a bunch of epic shorts on my channel. If you haven't seen them,
I've been seeing those.
Yeah.
What's your channel?
Beneficence TV. If you
go
to Beneficence TV, check out the last one that I posted because it's really good.
Do you want to bring it up and we can play it?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Give me 1 second.